This is the Lamborghini Huracan, and it's a little bit like Valentino Rossi because it's Italian, it's flamboyant, it's very, very fast, and in the case of this STO version, it's also surprisingly light. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this car, and of course, I'm going to launch it because I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. Buy, sell, CarWow. Let's start this video by talking about the centerpiece of the Lamborghini Huracan. It's awesome 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10 engine, which I'd love to show you now, but unfortunately this engine cover doesn't come off unless you've got a key, which Lamborghini didn't trust me with. Though if I peer in through here, I can see that the intake plenums are powder coated gold, which is quite nice. Now, performance figures range from 610 horsepower to 640 horsepower, and torque ranges between 560 newton meters to 600. In the case of this STO, you have 640 horsepower and 565 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 on this car takes 3 seconds, and we'll find out what that feels like when I launch it later on in this video. The quickest Huracan can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Top speed? Well, for all Huracans, it's over 202 miles an hour, apart from the STO because of this wing. Creates a bit of drag. As a result, the top speed is only 193 miles an hour. Now, you might be thinking, do you know what? It doesn't bother me. I like the look of this car, and I quite fancy selling my Ferrari for it, and I recommend you use CarWow. Yes, believe it or not, someone has sold their Ferrari through CarWow. If you want to find out which Ferrari exactly, click on the pop-out banner up there. I'll put the link in the description below to see what that car was. Now, you've probably got a more normal car to sell than a Ferrari, and if you want to do that at a later date, all you have to do is just Google "help me CarWow" and we will help you sell your car. Just upload some photos, brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car. Pick the best offer, they'll come to your house, take the car away, put the money in your account. It's easy. So let's experience this engine and the noise it does make. I'm making myself feel sick, but I don't care because of that noise. I've lost the plot. But that's what this engine does to you. It's so good. It's so raucous. And blimey, it just pulls. Oh, relentless. Beautiful, responsive, naturally aspirated engine. And now I just need to go slow and calm down. Woof! You can get a Lamborghini Huracan with either four-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, which is what the STO is. They all have a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox with launch control, though Lamborghini has reprogrammed the system on the STO to make the shifts even faster. This gearbox is brilliant. Now you can run it in automatic mode and it will behave extremely well. It will respond when you want it to, like that. Look. Kick down, brilliant changes. It will just shuffle between the gears when you're just cruising around, if you ever are just cruising around. But don't waste such a great gearbox letting it do it itself. Get involved. And it's so responsive. No, you pull the paddle, it gives you the gear immediately. Doesn't pause to think about it. No messing around, it just gives you what you need when you want it. I mean, look at that. It's just... oh, brilliant gearbox. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it in the normal Huracan. It was quick enough, but now they've made it even quicker. All Lamborghini Huracans, apart from the entry-level rear-wheel drive Evo, get carbon ceramic brakes as standard. You get 380mm discs up front, gripped by 6-piston calipers, and 356mm discs at the back, gripped by 4-piston calipers. However, the STO has some special graded carbon ceramics with a material that's been developed using F1 technology for improved braking power and reduced fade. You also get some slightly larger discs, 390mm up front and 360 at the back. The brakes on this car are phenomenal. Great feel to the pedal, it's super responsive, and stopping power is there. You can brake hard over and over again and they don't seem to let go on you. They're really, really strong. Let's try an emergency stop from 60 miles an hour though. Wow, that's a real headbanger that is. The Lamborghini Huracan starts from £160,000, rising to £260,000 for this STO version. If you think that's a lot and you want a sports car that's still a lot of fun, pretty quick, I've actually found a good deal on one through CarWow. If you want to find out what the car is and what the saving is, click on the pop-out banner up there. I'll find the link in the description below. Anyway, back to this car. So as well as the standard Huracan's double wishbone suspension, limited slip differential and variable rate dampers, Lamborghini has tweaked the STO. So they've messed with the suspension, make it a little bit more responsive. They've fitted stiffer bushings. They've also swapped out the variable rate steering for a linear rack, so it has a more consistent feel to it. Also, the car has some different driving modes which are specific to the STO. So there's the STO mode, which is for fast road driving, and then Trofeo for track. Okay, let's see what this Huracan STO is like when you've got an open, twisty country road to enjoy it on. It's amazing how well the suspension just deals with all the imperfections and bumps. The faster you go, the better it gets. It's so planted. The steering, I mean, this thing changes direction like a housefly when you're trying to swat it. It's like, it's nuts. It's so alive, so responsive, so precise. Oh, the way it turns in is insane. You also get a load of confidence. I mean, it's rear wheel drive, but I don't think it's going to bite me on the arse. It feels very stable on the rear end. And obviously being rear wheel drive, you get a better feel through the steering wheel. It just seems a little bit quicker to turn in. And then the rear wheel steering actually helps with that as well, gets the car rotating. And being rear wheel drive, you can really sit the car down on the power. You don't feel like you're being pulled out of a turn like sometimes you can in the four wheel drive models. This is just pure racing car. Whoa, what a thing. This is by far and away the best Lamborghini to drive. They have done an incredible job. So I drove the Audi R8 rear-wheel drive. Now, if you want to see my video review of that, click on the pop-out button up there. I'll find the link in the description below. While that car was more fun to drive, I probably wouldn't have it over the four-wheel drive model, because one of the things about the R8 is that it's the all-round everyday sports car, and the four-wheel drive version fulfills that brief a bit better, even though the R8 rear-wheel drive is slightly better to drive. With the Lamborghini Huracan though, Lamborghini isn't supposed to be an everyday car, it's supposed to be an eventful car, and the rear-wheel drive version is more eventful, and that's why, if you have the means, if you can get the allocation and you want a Lamborghini Huracan, this is the one to get. Now it's a section of the video where we see what it'd be like to daily this car, so let's go to automatic mode and just poodle about. Yeah, you can do it. Visibility ain't great at the back. The suspension, when you're going slower, means that you do feel the bumps a bit, quite noisy when you're on the motorway. That cruise control's a bit rubbish. Yeah, it's not the best daily, but I would daily it if I was given one of these, just because at any given opportunity, you can just put it into neutral by pulling both pedals and you can always just go manual and, you know, road opens up in front of you. It'd be worth dailying this just for the rare opportunities that you get to do that, because it gives you so many thrills. That's the practicality bit done with. Lamborghini first introduced the Huracan in 2014. Then in 2019 they facelifted it with the Evo model. Here's a before and after comparison of the front three quarters and now the rear three quarters. However, this STO version is the most extreme looking of all the Huracans ever. It's got so much aero going on. I mean, look at this huge front carbon fibre splitter, these big vents here, the vents in the bonnet, you've got STO badging here, moving down the side, you've got 20-inch alloy wheels, they're forged aluminium, you can upgrade to magnesiums, you've got centre locking nuts, these vents here have the wheel arches to release high pressure, and then this spat design, the protruding side skirts, vents that are bigger than on the standard car, you've got another vent here, and then this crazy fin over the rear wheel arch and a vent here. You've got this roof scoop there to feed air into the engine, and this massive fin as well. There's also a huge rear wing, and it's adjustable as well. You have to use some tools to do that. Got a big rear diffuser. There is so much aero on this car. Apparently the STO has 53% more downforce than the old Huracan Performante. Now if you like crazy aero on your Lamborghini, click on the pop-out button up there for the link in the description below to check out my review of the Aventador SVJ. Here on the inside, the Lamborghini Huracan has a really sporty feel to it. So you sit very low, the dash is huge, the windscreen is raked, visibility is sportily poor, shall we say. The infotainment system is on this big centre console here. It's not the best system in the world, and being low down means you have to take your eyes off the road to use it. I do like these toggle switches over the windows and other bits and pieces, and the way you have to lift up this flap to start the car. Bit like the missile launch system in a fighter jet. Not so keen on the reverse gear selector though. that's unnecessary. Anyway, the STO version has some upgrades like Alcantara on the steering wheel. You get STO badging on the digital dials. You get Alcantara on the dash. It's lovely stitching. Then there's exposed carbon fibre everywhere and like these pulls to release the door. Yeah, that's good. You also get these lovely carbon fibre seats, and I especially like the handle for releasing the mechanism for sliding backwards and forwards. It's a bit weird. Anyhow, practicality isn't great in here though, so there is a glove box. That's all right, I guess. There's a little area here, got a couple of USBs. And there's a shelf here, which is limited now because this car has the optional roll cage fitted to it. I guess there is a little storage area here, but what I can't find are any cup holders. And that brings me on to 5 or 9 things about this car. The only luggage space you have in a Huracan is underneath the bonnet, and even then it's not much space. 100 litres, unless of course you have the STO version, and then the vents in the bonnet mean there's less room still. The boot capacity on this particular model is just 38 litres, which is pointless. Now I would like to show you just how little space there is, but you need a special key to open the bonnet, and Lamborghini hasn't given that to me for some reason. Same story as the engine cover. Lamborghini will charge you a whopping £2,800 if you want Apple CarPlay with your car. If you've got an Android phone though, like I have, sod ya, Android Auto is just not available. Unlike with many other cars with rear wheel steering, the Huracan's doesn't actually improve its turning circle. It's the same 11.5 metres regardless of which model you go for, either one with rear wheel steering or one without. By comparison, it does work on a Porsche 911 GT3. That car's turning circle is 10.4 metres, which is better than a normal Carrera without rear wheel steering that's 11.2 metres, FYI. The rear visibility on a Lamborghini Huracan is pretty bad at the best of times, but it's even worse on this STO. Just have a look at what you can and can't really see. Yeah, thankfully though, you've got an absolutely brilliant rear view camera. Oh no, the definition on that isn't great, is it? And they charge you £1,600 for that. How come I'm in 2 places at once? Does that mean I'm omnipresent? The indicators aren't on the stalk like in most cars. They're operated by this little switch here on the steering wheel spoke. And it's a little bit fiddly to use when you're driving, especially if you're turning, say on a roundabout, and you need to indicate off, then the buttons aren't where you left them. Anyway, it's not all bad. Here's 5 cool things about the Lamborghini Huracan. Worried about scraping your beautiful carbon fibre splitter on a speed hump or steep driveway? Well, don't worry, get yourself the nose lift, which will raise the car up like this to give you more ground clearance. It does cost an extra £3,000 though. However, it's probably worth it when you consider the repair bills to this lovely piece. Unlike many other sports car makers, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini doesn't put a soft limiter on its engines. So have a listen to this. Go on. Oh yeah. That's amazing. It would be a bit of a travesty if a car that looked like this wasn't allowed to be all shouty, loud and uncouth. You can get a special telemetry system for the car. It costs £4,000, which seems like quite a lot of money, but it does a lot more than just timing around a track. So it can actually measure how quick you are in various sectors, and it will look at your throttle inputs, your braking and your steering and your gear selection as well to help you improve. On top of that, it includes 2 cameras, one up here, which will actually record your racing lines, and then one back here, which records your driving input. Now you can use all that to work out how you can improve and make yourself quicker. The STO is 50 kilos lighter than a normal rear-wheel drive Huracan thanks to its clamshell bonnet, which is just made from one piece, a stripped-out interior, less soundproofing, carbon fibre seats, and a special rear bumper that is constructed using a process that uses 25% less carbon fibre, yet is just as strong. As a result, this car tips the scales at 1,340 kilos, which is pretty impressive. Yet that is the dry weight, because Lamborghini only quotes dry weights, because curb weight, which includes a driver and fluids, is obviously heavier and doesn't sound so good. You can get the STO in a 2-tone paint scheme. You don't have to if you don't want to, you can have it one colour. Also, you can mix and match the different colours exactly as you please, because Lamborghini says that the colour options are limitless. You also get exposed carbon fibre, though they don't call it exposed carbon fibre. On the spec sheet, it's actually down as carbon fibre shiny. Another thing you can customise are the decals. You can have whatever pattern or livery you want. Would they let you have swear words on it? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's time for lunch. Sorry, no, mistake. It's time for launch. Lamborghini says the Huracan STO will do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Now normally I'd test that out by using my specialist timing gear. However, this car's been lent to me by Lamborghini and they will not let journalists do any timing of their cars unless they have their own engineers present. They want to make sure that the tyres are at the right temperature, that the surface is all good, all that kind of stuff. I've got a bit of a workaround. I've got a GoPro here. I'm going to launch the car. We'll see how quickly the numbers climb. Maybe you can work out the time it does. I don't know. We'll give it a go. Thrust mode possible. Oh, that felt pretty good to me. So then, what's my final verdict on the Lamborghini Huracan STO? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should just go right ahead and buy the STO. It is the best Lamborghini I have ever driven. That includes all of them, Performantes, SVJs and Ultimates. Anyway, hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of my verdict in the comments below. Click on those windows there for some more videos, and on that box there to go to carwow to find out how much your car is really worth. Do it, it's free.